Hey guys, I'm doing sort of a late shop stream tonight. So I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to go for. I have a different mic set up now, trying to get the focus and better on this main. So there's gonna be a little more of a delay between webcam, but it doesn't really matter. I prefer this to be higher frame rate. So we should be 30 now. I don't think I can stream at 60. Nice. Um, but yesterday when I streamed, I wired up the back panel, the audio back panel, power, and today I'm gonna so we get I have an LED marquee that I use, 5 volt. Have to make comes with these brackets. Not even sure if they're gonna fit. Tried to design things so everything fits without too much modification, but end up having to modify something because it's tricky getting the tolerances right. All this stuff. So if you guys are watching, just comment below. Have any questions? I should be making a post on social media before I go live, but I fact. So right now I'm gonna pour out parts. I don't know if the mic is working okay. Might be kind of quiet. Volume, is that better? Is that better, guys? I don't want to be too quiet. I think that's better. Can you hear me all right? Yeah, and I'm not recording the stream with my computer, so we should get better performance. So using a buffer video does set fire. So I have some mounting points modeled in slots. The idea is these focus should be working better. How well do they? Well, good. So the idea is you hold on. Oh. Wait long enough for I actually tighten here. Yeah. So these are 2.5, I believe. I have some 2.5s that I'm um so I'm gonna grab some bolts to mount this up top here. Oh wait. Got an LED light. That gives it better lighting. That works. Make an improvement live stream. I didn't clean up. I should have cleaned up. Messy, but organize and clean as I go. Now this is 5mm part spin. So be side here, like that. Yeah, if you're watching, drop a comment below. Anybody who's gonna watch this after the fact, feel free to drop a comment below, and I'll try to respond. I'll be up on. Yeah. Find it so slots allow you to different width light bars. Not sure. They have to go. It's slightly different than a radio control car light bars. Nice thing is they are 5V. They come with a DuPont connector. Although I modified it wider. I'm gonna try to. The thing I'm not a fan of with these light bars is have these plastic caps. That hold brackets into the plastic. Not great. What happens is I have one thread right and thread it right. The audio is ducking. Yeah, I have like, sorry, I'm gonna turn off. I have a filter. I have a filter on this, I think. Noise gate. I'm gonna turn it off. Is that better? Is that better? It should. The reason I had a noise gate on it is because there's a lot of background noise in my shop from the computer here that I'm not using, so I can turn off, and then my 3D printer. Like so, you're gonna get like a constant sort of static noise. But dude, 789. Yeah, let me know if that's better. It might have been the noise gate that was causing it to duck. Yeah, that's good. Okay, yeah, I don't know how loud the noise is in the background. Like it's showing it as picking up on my mic. I might turn off my 3D printer. I'm not using it right now, so there's no need for it to be on because it's loud. Yeah, once the hits the fans on the 3D printer, they're really loud. That should be better. Yeah, that's better. Is my voice loud enough? Because I'm real OCD about people who record videos with their voice like really loud or clipping. So I try to have it set at like a decent volume. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I just wasn't sure how bad the background noise is. I'm using a different mic now. I was using a mic built into the webcam, which is kind of crap. So I have a nicer mic now. You can see it right here. I have it off camera. I'm sort of sitting on my laptop. So as long as you guys can hear me, that's good. So yeah, if you're tuning in now, I'm mounting this light bar up in the top here for the top marquees that go here and here. Alright, good. Yeah, I wasn't sure how loud I was. So I'm going to assemble the brackets on the side of this light bar and see if everything will fit as it should. Now I don't know. The design of this thing is a little different than the last one I had. So I'm not quite sure what that is. I'm gonna try to put it together and see if it works. Alright, cool. Yeah, thanks for letting me know, guys. Because I'm not really monitoring my stream with another device. I mean, ideally that's what I would do. So I'm just kind of winging it. Yeah, these don't really get tight. That's what I was afraid of. So I designed a part that I 3D print that has a threaded insert in it, which is like a whole nother step when I'm assembling these light bars, but it's kind of how it goes. I don't know if maybe I'm using the wrong size bolts. It comes with a couple different bolt sizes, but the holes are really too... Yeah, I'm going to just use my 3D printed thing. I need a better screwdriver here. Where are my other screwdrivers? I got a couple right here. Maybe this will work. Yeah, that works. So I don't know if I have any of these printed. I hope I do. Either way, I can turn on my other printer and it'll print these in, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. They're pretty easy to print. It's sort of inevitable with a lot of the parts that I don't make from scratch that I use for these builds. They have to be modified because they're just not ideal. They're close, but not quite right. So then I have to make my own sort of custom parts. Like these light bars, they have a plastic end cap that goes over the extruded aluminum. This is aluminum. And then the idea is the brackets are supposed to bolt into the end cap, but they're not very positive. So I designed my own 3D printed end cap. See if I have one. I think I have one. Thought I had one. It might be in one of my parts trays. Usually when I print stuff this small, I try to do like a batch of them, so I'm not printing them again. But I don't know. I might have to print them again, which is annoying. Yeah, I'm going to turn on my small printer and see if I can print some of those real quick. I guess in the meantime I could install the speakers. So I have these 3D printed speaker holders. Let's see if I can find those. Where are you? I had a box with all the parts for this build, and I don't know where I put that box. Yes, I'm very organized, as you can see. Okay, here's one of them. Yeah, so these are the speaker baffles, technically. And they need some threaded inserts installed. And then they bolt in here. I gotta move this speaker. This is not where the speaker goes. It's just temporary. But they bolt in here like that. I don't know if you guys can see that. So they bolt. Is it here? No. Wait, what? Yeah. No, I'm mixed up. This way. Sorry. Yeah. So they bolt. This one bolts on this side, like that. And then the speaker mounts on this side of it, like this. It's kind of hard with the wiring here, but this This screws to the back or bolts to the back of this little thing, and then this goes through the marquee on the front. So this is a sample marquee, but you can see the speaker mounts, the speaker baffle, it mounts sort of in the marquee like that. And then this gets a speaker grill. I use these perforated aluminum, I think it's aluminum or steel speaker grills. They're for like car audio speakers, but I trim them down and then I glue them. Over this little opening here. And then this whole thing mounts, not on this side, but as I throw things, it mounts over here. This isn't the final marquee, this is actually a sample piece, but I'm just showing you guys for the sake of demonstration. So I'm going to go, give me 1 second, I'm going to go turn on my other printer. And I'm going to load up Octoprint, which is the print server I use to control my printers, and see if I have that file on there. I might have to upload it from my other computer. I'll be right back. Yeah, so nice thing with using Octoprint to control your 3D printers is you can do everything remotely. So instead of having to use like an SD card to transfer over the G code for the printer, I can do it all remotely, either from my phone or from my computers, as long as they're on the same network. And I have like a bookmark in my phone for both printers. So let's load it up. And Octoprint's cool because it has like storage for all your uploads that you send to your printer. So if you printed something like a few days ago and you want to access it again without going up to your computer where you prepared it from. So I am loaded up to the to Octoprint right now. It doesn't look like much, and it's not very optimized for a cell phone, but I can zoom in and play around with it. I have to find the bracket though. Let's see if it's in here. I print a lot of stuff, so it's kind of gonna be it's probably gonna be a ways back. We got a lot of files in here. Yeah, there it is, LED light bar end cap. So I load that up, and it says it'll take 29 minutes. It's going to take longer than that because the printer has to heat up, and that printer especially takes a while to heat up. So let's see. Now I changed my print profile for that printer. Oh well, we'll see if it works. Hit print. So I can hear my printer heating up now. And then this has like a nice little web interface, and I have a webcam. It doesn't look like much, but this is the print bed on my printer. So while it's printing, that'll show me a video feed of the printer in action, so I can monitor it remotely. It's going to take a while to heat up. The bed takes the longest. It's got to get up to 80 degrees Celsius, which is pretty hot, so it'll take a while. But while that's going, I can put together these speaker baffles for these speakers up here. Now I'm gonna put these clips on the wires here for the speakers, so I can remove the speakers and not have the wires go down inside. So here's one of my speakers. Kind of cool. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything I'm doing here or about any of my other builds, feel free to ask. I think some of the speaker wire is getting fouled up by I'm gonna pull out the screen. Screen, you are in the way. Yeah, I'm just removing this. I'm going to remove the wires from the back of the screen assembly, the power wire and the HDMI wire. Maybe I should start doing ASMR. What do you guys think? I see a lot of like social media people, especially YouTubers, like doing more ASMR content, and I think everyone's entitled to enjoy what they want to enjoy, as weird as it is, but I feel like it's kind of a fad right now, and I'm sure it'll die down. Not to say that there aren't people that enjoy it, just that it's kind of like the cool thing to do right now. It'll be something else eventually on YouTube. It'll be some other crazy thing that people do. Let's see, I don't know what's holding this wire up. Let's see if we can't figure out what the heck's going on here. So you can see the inside now. Hopefully my camera is working out better than it did last time. I can tell the frame rate is definitely better. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but is my audio, like my voice, matching up with my mouth? I did some tests ahead of time and it looked close enough, but I did notice when I was doing a video yesterday, or a stream yesterday, my voice and the audio were out of sync, which is kind of disorientating. I'm not... Where is this wire getting fouled up? That's my question. I might have to pull the back panel off to figure that out. Which I think I'm going to do. Because these wires... the motherboard is sort of like... not right up against the back of the case, but it's close. And it kind of gets in the way of the wiring. So I'm going to pop out the back panel here. There is a delay between the two. Yeah, no, I know there's going to be a delay between the main video, obviously, and the webcam. I meant more so like my voice on this webcam in relation to my lips. Because, like, yeah, the delay between the video, that's not going to go away because I'm using a capture card. And it's doing some buffering to keep a consistent frame rate. Where the webcam is lower quality, so it requires less buffering. So that's why this main camera is going to be slower always because of the quality. I don't know if... I'm sure you can get like a low latency capture card or a low latency webcam. You move your hand... Yeah, right. Yeah, okay, voice... Yeah, the voice was more my concern because that's kind of... The delay is, like I said, I'm not going to get rid of that. At least not in a way that I know of. Not easily. So I'm just checking this wiring back here to make sure that it's going to be okay. Because these wires feel like they're getting hung up on something, and I'm not sure what it is. Yeah, and you guys can hear me all right? Everything's clear? Oh yeah, there we go. There's some more length. So yeah, it was getting hung up. I don't know what it's getting hung up on without pulling the whole motherboard out, which I really don't want to do right now. Because there's a lot of the power cables for the power supply are sort of hard to get in place. So I'm going to hang that down there and put the bolts back in for this back door. these go in. I remember the motherboard bracket that holds the top of the motherboard in the case. These bolts are actually supposedly supposed to screw into it. Alright, SR Arcade. I think that's how I say it. SR Arcade, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I'm gonna be trying to do this regularly. Not every day necessarily. I have been doing it every day, but basically whenever I'm working down here and able to, I will live stream it. And it's a good way for me to have a dialogue with you guys while I build these things, because I get a lot of questions on my Instagram and on my Facebook, and it's kind of hard for me to answer those questions without actually hands-on working on whatever it is. So this is a great way to show people like exactly how things come together, so they know more so what's going on. And people are always like, you should make how-to videos, you should make build progress videos, and I don't really have the effort or time for all that. So I guess like sort of doing it during a live stream, this is a good way to like sort of compromise that, so people can see, you know, how I work on these. And it's not the most efficient way to do things, but because I'm distracted. So I'm going to try to make sure that this lines up. This is a problem on stream. The motherboard kind of wants to go where it wants to go, so these bolts don't want to line up. Let me see if I can get this. Oh, I can see them now. Let's see if I can get this. Come on, you know you want to. Yeah, there it is. So I wonder how the printer's doing. It's probably like halfway up to temp. Of course, it's not super cold down here, but like in January, it gets pretty cold down here. 40 something. The printer takes forever to heat up. Yeah, this is not. I'm not connecting. I am not connecting. Come on. You know you want to. There it is. Just have to be persuasive. It doesn't feel like it's grabbing anymore. It like was. Oh no, it's grabbing. It's just a long ass bolt. Alright, this one should go better because the other ones. Alright, yeah, that's better. Alright. So all that just to get some length on these speaker wires. But it's worth it, right? It's no other way to do it. So these bolts are all screwing into some heat press threaded inserts that I put into the plastic. And this is really like, this is the way to build these. Because otherwise plastic, it's like you can use a self-tapping screw like you would use in sheet metal. Plastic ones are very similar. But the thing is, once you drive the screw in and out more than 2 or 3 times, you lose some of the positivity of the mechanical connection between the two parts. So threaded inserts are really like the best, because now it's like you can pull these screws in and out a bunch of times and they're still have a really good grip because they're threading into metal instead of the plastic. So speaking of which, I'm going to put some inserts into these speaker baffles. And this is the modified soldering iron I use. Oh, the printer is getting ready to print. That was actually faster than I thought it was going to be. And so I have a few different tips in this cup here. Different sizes depending on the threaded insert. And I mount it in here, and then I turn the iron on in, I don't know, couple minutes, it gets up to temp, and then I put my, I'm going to do it in a second, I'll show you guys. I've got to find my inserts. Here they are. So I have a bunch of different sizes, more or less labeled. They're brass, I believe. And I'm going to be using for the speakers, I believe I use 2.5 millimeter. Let me double check, because I might use 2. No, I use 2 millimeter. So I use the smaller size. So these guys, these little tiny ones. It's not really focusing. And I have to, I think this is the right tip. Yeah. So it's hard to see on camera. Let me see if I can't zoom in. Let's do a zoom in. Focus. Let's see if I can get it to focus. No, not without my hand there. Ah, it almost focused. It wants to. Ah, there it is. So there's the insert on the end. Pretty tiny. I drop these and I don't even bother looking for them. They fall down, they fall down. So, alright. And then I'm going to be putting them into these 4 holes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, right, yeah, the 2 millimeter. Okay. So I gotta be careful with this cup not to knock it over. I'm gonna try to hold this while I work on it on the stream. Yeah, we'll see if I can do that. So I gotta get this up to temp. This guy has a little digital readout for the temp. You can see it. I set it to 260, maybe 270. I might set it down because 270 might be a little. These smaller inserts, they heat up quick, so sometimes you want to go lower. Yeah, it's at. I'll probably do it down on 250. Like the 3D printer, the nozzle on the 3D printer, when it's extruding the ABS, it's set to 240 something. But since this is less efficient, you got to go a little higher temp than the printer would. But, you know, depending on the part and the insert size, you set the temp accordingly. So this gets pretty hot. I'm going to burn myself. I'm glad that the camera is focusing. It makes my life easier. Now I might, sometimes I have to drill out the screw holes for these, which I might do right now, to make the insert go in easier. You know, there's like a ratio of sort of like too big or too small for the hole for the insert. And you gotta get it just right. Otherwise the insert doesn't really hold in place once you pushed it in. So I have, I usually use a drill bit or a reamer for reaming out the plastic. I gotta find it. I don't know where it is. And where are you? Or I could use this guy. This'll work, I guess. I use a counter bore bit. It's kind of overkill, but it's just so you can have. Yeah, that works. I'll do just a little bit. Just so you, when you're pushing in the insert, it guides it better. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. So I'll let it sit on there a bit to get warm, and then I go in the part carefully. And then boom. There we go. There it is. There's one of them. See if it picks up on camera. Come on. Focus is not great on this, but you get the idea. So let's do 3 more. Yeah, the printer's going. I don't know if that's picking up. You hear a robot in the background. That's my printer. And hopefully the file that it's printing is working alright, because I burned my face on the iron. Alright, let's get this up on camera here for you guys. Push it in. Kind of medium pressure when you're pressing in the inserts, and then you carefully slide out. There you go. There's another one. Yeah, the camera's not loving this. It's not loving focusing on this. Camera autofocus is always a sketchy thing. It might be the lens. It's not a great lens for this. I'm almost like doing macro. Alright, that's alright. Let's do one more for this guy. Be careful. I might lower the temp a little bit because I feel like it's a little too high temp. Yeah, that's good. And then, I don't know if I have any 2mm bolts over here. I have the 2.5s. I don't know where my 2mm bolts are. They're in like a smaller storage bin. Where are you? 2mm. I can't talk. I might have some over here. Hold on. No. These are not 2. Where are my 2mm? Well, those are screws. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. I'm trying to find my 2mm. My 2mm screws. 2mm screws. Where are you? They're in a bin. Here they are. Wait, no. Those are regular screws. Well, the printer's printing, more or less. That's good to see. It looks like it's printing. I'm trying to find these 2mm screws. I can't see millimeter for some reason. Where are they? Here they are? Yes, here they are. I have to order some more of these. Oh, and there's another tip for my heat press insert. Okay. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, here's another tip. Come on, man. Camera, focus. It wants to focus like right here. So I'm kind of like gonna push you that way a little bit. So we have M2 4s. I think we need to use the M2 8s. I think the 4s are not quite long enough. Not really. Ideally, I'd have... Yeah, I'm gonna have to use these guys. Can't really see on screen. Hold on. Let me zoom out a little bit. There they are. At the bottom of the shot here. These are the M2 8mm. So they're M2 thread, 8mm length. So I need, whoop, wrong one. I need 8 of these. There's 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. So we're going to mount. We're going to mount this speaker in here with those inserts that we just put in. Now, I might end up soldering the speaker wires directly to these terminals on for positive and negative on the speaker, because the disconnects, they kind of interfere with the back of the case, or they can. So I'm gonna mount. I guess I can mount this and then do a test fit and see. Space is tight. Space is a premium basically inside of here. So let's see if those inserts are working as they should. Looks like they are. Works pretty well. Yeah. So I'm not going to do the idea. It's kind of like a car wheel. You don't tighten all the bolts one at a time. You sort of tighten them evenly and work your way around. So I'm going to get them all sort of in 75% of the way. And I don't go crazy because there is a rubber gasket on the face of this speaker to create like a nice seal between the opening and the face of the speaker. So, and then you can see in there. See that shiny? That's the light reflecting off the woofer, or the cone of the woofer. And I designed it so that the shape of this thing is sort of tapered, so the speaker drives the audio and then it kind of comes neatly out this opening that goes through the front of the Marquee, the Astro City Marquee. I gotta be careful. This soldering iron is right next to me and it gets pretty warm. At least my view duration's higher today, or tonight. Yesterday I think the view duration was like a minute, 2 minutes. So people are watching for around 5 minutes now, which is a pretty good view duration. Better than before. So I'm going to tighten these all sort of evenly now. You don't have to go crazy because I'm not, well actually I probably don't have to pull this out because this doesn't get painted. It just gets sanded a little bit so it fits better in the Marquee opening. Yeah, so there, you just sort of tighten them snug. They're not going anywhere. They are not going anywhere. I should probably make a post on my Facebook because I feel like people are totally clueless to the fact that I'm alive. And Facebook actively, like, I wonder if there's a way I could share on here and on Facebook at the same time. I think there's a third-party software I have to use for that where I could live stream on both simultaneously. better, because none of my Facebook viewers probably know that I'm live right now, nor do my Instagram followers. Just you YouTubers, just the people on my YouTube. Sometimes people are aware. Yeah, so that's mounted, that's good. So this goes up here now. Let's get the camera showing you guys more of what's going on. Hold on, other way. So this goes up here, like that. Now I don't have the Marquee in here, but this also doubles as a clamp for the left side of the Marquee. So I am going to have to put a Marquee in. I had some sample acrylic Marquee parts printed, and I've been using those so I don't mess up the final versions. So I'm going to pull them out of this other build behind me and put them into this one. So I don't know if you guys can see that. I have to try to rotate this webcam so you can see. Yeah, this light is kind of, oh, this thing is hold on. That's annoying. There we go. So you can kind of see what I'm doing back there. Sort of works. Yeah, this light is in the way, but whatever. So I'm gonna go back there and work on that. Pull out the acrylic parts that I have in this one and put them into this one just temporarily to put it all together. I'm gonna need a smaller. There we go. I don't know if you guys can see that. You can't really see what I'm doing here because I'm blocking the camera. Yes, I'm pulling these parts out. Just to use them to fit everything into the new build while I'm sort of doing a test fit of everything in a dry assembly, I guess. Test assembly. I don't know how well my webcam or my mic is picking this up. It looks like it's picking it up pretty well. Hopefully the printer's alright over there. I have a feeling like it's not. Let me check it. No, it's okay. Printer is doing its thing. Printer is doing its thing. I repeat, the printer is doing its thing. Alright. Pull these guys out. It's a little dusty back here. Okay, so I need to pull these out. These speakers come out. Yeah, this is going to be a little more complicated than I wanted it to be. Hold on. Printer's done. So I might just bring this guy over on camera. So I'm not doing that madness over there. I'm going to cheat and just set this camera down so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So here's the second one, or the first one I have been building, and this is kind of an awkward position to work on this, but I'm removing the parts to get at the Marquee, so I really want to, do I have another one that I can put in here temporarily? I don't think I do. So let's just pull this one out. Let's pull this one out. So hard keeping track of all the different bolts and things because There's a lot. There's like 3 different sizes I use: 2.5, 3mm, 2. I actually even have some 4mm bolts that I use for the power supply hold downs. You want to have something kind of robust to hold down the power supply because you don't want that to fail or moving around inside the case. These are stainless, these bolts, which isn't great because they're not magnetic. So I have to sort of be careful when I'm pulling them out. And then we go from the front. There's a couple bolts in the front. Where's my other? Where's that? I had another driver in my hand 25 seconds ago. There we go. Pull this out of here. Okay, now it's wanting to travel. Okay, that's one marquee about to pop out, and then the top one I'll pull out next. So these are just test marquees because I don't want to screw up the final ones. These are pretty good. They're pretty much like exactly what the final ones are going to look like. They look dim right now because they're not backlit. The colors aren't bright, but they get bright when they're backlit. So I'm going to put that down here. And now I'm going to remove the top marquee carefully without breaking anything. So these guys, I'm just going to hang down here. Come on. Come on. Hopefully I can figure out a way to monetize live streaming, because it would be nice if I could make some extra cash while I do this. I don't know how monetization works on YouTube as far as live streaming goes. I know people can donate. I don't know if I am at the viewership threshold to get donations to apply for that. I am on my Instagram. People can donate on there, but I hate live streaming on Instagram. So these are fiddly little bolts that hold this top marquee in. Hey, at least I got one person watching. It says one person is watching. It could just be YouTube telling me I'm watching, because I think it counts me as one person, which doesn't make any sense. Yeah, the printer is done, which is good. Okay, looks like that is good. So we can drop this out. Here's the top marquee. Flat square 8. 8 being the size of the screen. So I'm going to put this back to where it was. Carefully. Something in there. Alright. Alright, where were we? Right, so I'm going to put this guy in up here. Like that. Make sure everything, these things are, there we go. The idea is it's supposed to sort of sit in place. I've been trying to design things so you go to bolt something in place and there's some kind of fixture there to hold the part in place before you put the bolts in, and that makes assembly easier and disassembly. So that was one of the things I did on this part, I guess. And it's more or less centered enough. So let's put let's see if we can't get the camera aimed a little better here. Not really a fan of that. Boom. And then zoom. Zoom. Okay, well, I'm at the top of the frame here. That works. I can kind of move you closer. I should probably turn off my heat insert guy while I do this. I'm getting sidetracked by putting this in place. But you can't really see that on camera because my hand is in the way. This is the dilemma of trying to live stream something this small. You see my hands a lot of the time. So you can't really see what I'm doing. I'll bring it back down. So right here, that's the bolt I just put in. I don't really want to move my whole camera mechanism holder setup because then I screw up the other shots. So I'm just going to do this sort of like out of view temporarily. Okay. Boom. Put that in. This is just, I don't have to go crazy tightening these because I do more than enough bolts for everything. Like, I kind of copied the real Astro City, which really needs it at the scale that it's at. But at this scale, you can get away with less because the weight of things and the size of things is smaller. But I try to simulate the real Astro City, or copy it as much as possible when I can. Can't always, because working between scales like that, there's a pretty big scale difference, so things just don't translate as well at this scale. So here's the first speaker assembly. So we can hook up the wire here. And white is positive. That's what I did yesterday. So this goes on there. Can't really see because of my hand. Don't break. These the wires I use for the speakers, they're maybe not as flexible as I'd like. Let's push that on there. Okay, that's on there more or less. So I might mount these after I do the light bar. So the reason I switched over to doing the speakers was because I was waiting for the printer to print the parts for the light bar. But I think to mount the light bar with the speakers in place will be a lot harder. That's where the speaker will go. But then the light bar sits like right below it. So even the wiring has to get kind of tucked up a little bit to not interfere with the light bar. So I'm going to leave the speaker off to the side for now while I do the light bar, because there is a bracket for the light bar that goes right here. So I'm going to go see if the print came out alright. I'll be right back. Not the greatest print. Wow. Yeah. This print's a little anemic. I had the the Z offset on my printer set differently when I printed these before, so I've changed a lot of things since then. I mean, they came out alright. This is a little end cap. So the idea is, here's the one that came with the light bar. Let me zoom in. Here's the one that came with the light bar. And it just has a little hole and this real thin piece of plastic, and that they expect you to screw a bolt into that. Like, that's going to be a secure connection. So I designed mine, and it has like a collar here. See, there's some depth to it. Whoa. This guy right here in this post, I don't know what you want to call it, but that's where the heat insert goes. So I am going to do 2.5 in there. yeah, a 2.5 millimeter insert. So I'm gonna grab my trusty insert thing and turn on my iron. It's on. Let that get the temp. And now I have 2.5 millimeter inserts. These are not labeled, but I can tell by looking at them. I designed these little cups for all my parts, and I 3D printed them, and then I have a label machine, so I started labeling them. It's too much work to do all the time, so I didn't label these ones. Let me double check. Where is my drill? Trusty drill. I'm gonna bore out this hole a little bit to make the insert go in easier. And then, alright, this is up to temp. So I'm going to see if it goes in nicely. I might have to do a higher temperature here. You see that on camera. My hand is blocking the view. Focus. There we go. Pretty good. It's good. There it is. Doesn't like to focus very well. Here's the heat insert, threaded insert, and then it has a little plastic that gets pushed out on the other side. You see that little piece? I just snip that off. And sometimes I have to drill it out or poke it out with something like that. I might actually need a reamer. This would be the right thing to use here, but all this just to make the end cap for my light bar. It's worth it, man. Alright. So try to clean out any of that extra plastic, because that extra plastic will interfere with the bolt. So now this little bracket can bolt onto here. I don't know, the camera ISO is not great right now. I might try to improve the ISO, because the light, like I have a lot of light here, but it looks dark. So let me see if I can get this a little brighter. If it lets me. That's better, huh? Yeah, that's better. Okay. That's better. I don't know if that affects my frame rate too much. No, that's alright. Okay, so now, let's see if that's any better. Oh yeah, that's way better. Careful not to burn your fingers. Yeah, it's kind of dangerous. Hey Felix, thanks for tuning in. I burn my hands so much that I have like quite a bit of callus on my fingertips. So I'm alright. But yeah, these finished printing on the printer, and they're the end caps for my light bars. So the one that comes with it is just not great, so I designed my own custom end cap, and this goes on here, and that gives me a nice threaded insert for the bracket that the light bar mounts to, which then mounts to the top up here on the case. So I'm going to do another insert on the other printed part. The little printer I have, it can't print these big case pieces. It can't print any of the case pieces, but it's great for these little parts. You can do the speaker, baffles on it, these little end caps, any kind of little detailed parts are great on that printer. Did I already do that? No, I don't think I did. This is just like a battery powered screwdriver that works with this standard quarter inch type hex that comes on a lot of tools, drill bits or screw bits, and I use it for a lot of stuff because it's low powered and sometimes you don't want like a ton of torque, so this thing is great. It was real cheap. I think I got it on Amazon for 20 bucks. Definitely a good investment. It doesn't even have a brand name, but you search on Amazon for like a cordless screwdriver and this will come up. But I use it as a drill as well as a few other things, and I have a bunch of bits for it. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So I'm going to do another insert here. This is a 2.5. Let's do this way, I guess. Let it get. This is hot. It's not, I mean, yeah, I'll burn myself on this, but it's not crazy hot. It's not as hot as it would be as if when I'm soldering it's at 400. I'm only at 250 right now, Celsius. So it's pretty hot, but it's not crazy. It will cauterize your skin if you hold your skin for more than, like if you touch it for more than like a couple seconds. Like if I just do that, I'm not burning myself. Obviously if I hold my finger there for a while, it will burn me. But it's not too crazy. So there's the insert. And now I'm going to clean it out because there's a little melted plastic that kind of gets stuck up in there and it fouls it up. So Felix, if you're still watching, I have like a different mic today, and I also fixed this camera. So now this camera is running at a better 30 frames a second. There's a delay. Someone was saying there is a delay between these two cameras, obviously, but it doesn't really matter. As long as the video feed is running at a decent frame rate and the quality is good and the lighting is good, that's really the most important thing with this main camera. This is a hassle. I need a drill bit to clean out the... That's the only problem with the heat press inserts is you get some leftover plastic that gets pushed through the hole. And, whoop, I don't know if you can see right now on camera very well, but there is some plastic filling up this hole. You can't really see through the hole. That's because there's plastic in there. So I have to use like a drill bit to chase out the hole for the threaded insert. I have my trusty metric drill bit set. I use this all the time, and I'm missing my 2.5. But I'll probably end up using a 1.5. Well, maybe I'll use the 2 millimeter. And then I have that's why my shop's a mess, because I'm always pulling out a billion tools. Hey Bren, thanks. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just working on installing the light bar. I did the speakers, like the wiring for the speakers and for this back panel here yesterday on stream, but today I'm doing the light bar here and installing the speakers in place. So then I can button up the back here, this back portion. It's kind of hard to see, I'm zoomed in, but this will get a cover. And then I can turn it on and you guys can see the marquee all lit up and the speakers all mounted in place. Yeah, thanks Felix. Yeah, I have a way better mic today. I buy all this stuff and never use it because I don't stream often, but I forgot that I had this mic. This is the mic as I try to center it on the camera. It's a pretty decent mic. I got it on Amazon. So that is much better than the mic on the webcam, obviously. And it has like a nice wind filter on it. This camera is kind of funky right now. Hold on, let me try to get this better. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about what I'm working on here, feel free to ask. I'm going to try to move this camera over a little so you're getting a better view of everything. And I have to get my little drill for this guy to clean out that hole. I have these little pin vices. They're like modelers hand drills. Gotta find them. Where are you? Shop is a mess. It's time to clean. Time to clean the shop. It's always time to clean. There's another light bar I bought. Is this another? Yeah, see, I keep buying these, forgetting that I already had some. But it's good. It's good to have like overstock of things. Here's another light bar. So these light bars are actually for radio control cars, but they're 5 volts, which is great because they can power off the USB on the computer. And they're bright. They're super bright, and they look good. You know, they're not quite identical to like what a real arcade machine has, but it's close enough that it's all right. I get kind of OCD about like making things accurate to the real machine, which is kind of like counterproductive sometimes. I don't know where this pin vise is. I don't know where they are. They're somewhere. I can smell this thing. This thing's hot over here. Alright. I might actually do... Yeah, where is the pin vise? I gotta find that. Hold on. Where are you, pin vise? I need you in my life. I need you in my life. I might end up just using a drill because I'm having a hard time finding this. It's kind of, or I'll do it by hand. Yeah, I'll use the drill. This is overkill. This is way overkill. So I gotta be careful here. Also, holding this in my hands, this is kind of risky. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, there's a lot of plastic in there. Okay. Careful not to drill the insert. Alright, that's good. That's good. And then clean this out a little more. It's pretty good. Alright. Now, I can install these back onto the light bar. So I'm going to remove the other one that came on it from the factory, which isn't great. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions or anything about what I'm working on right now, feel free. I know people are popping in and out because, yeah, time is precious, and I understand. I kind of have ADD, so when I watch a live stream, I am not there the whole time, so I miss stuff. So I expect people to have some questions once in a while about what the heck's going on. So I'm just pulling this little cap off. And this is what they expect you to mount to these steel brackets, and honestly, there's not a lot of material here to work with, so it's better to have these threaded inserts. So that's why I custom designed these. Goes over the end, and then I use the same screws that they give you. Put it back on. So I'm gonna, and these screws, they screw into the extruded aluminum. That's what this long portion of the, I might have to drill out these holes for these screws, or just screw them in first. So these screws They're pretty long. They go into the aluminum. There's these little, I don't know if you can see that on camera. There's 3 of them. 3 little holes that these screw into. Fiddly. Fiddly. That's what I call tiny little parts that are a pain in the butt to work with. They are fiddly. Alright, that's going in there pretty good. That's going in there pretty good. I didn't, I tried to design these end caps to be like a direct replacement, like a direct fit, and they fit pretty well, but they're not perfect. We gotta, yeah, there we go. Not a fan of these screws they use here, but they work. These tiny little screws, it's really easy to, that's why I like using hex a lot of the time. It's hard to see, but these little Phillips head screws, they get chewed up real quick by the screwdriver. So you have to be really careful when you're driving them in, because once you strip it out, then you're kind of screwed. Oh boy, this is hard to do on camera. I might use something to poke this hole out a little bit as I stab myself with this. This isn't all. You could really mess someone up with this. Very sharp. Well, it's not like needle sharp, but just about. And then these are old screwdrivers I bought ages ago for a radio control car, I think, or just for things in general. And honestly, they're some of the best screwdrivers, or small parts screwdrivers I've ever purchased. And I wish you could still get them. It's one of those things I got at the hardware store, and it was sort of like a limited thing that they sold that they don't sell anymore. But they're great. Alright, that's going in there. Okay. Yeah, the camera could still be a little lighter here. I was just getting like, it was so blown out yesterday, it was so washed out. Oh, there we go. That's one of them installed. So the camera does not like focusing this close, but one of them is installed. And then the idea is this bracket. Whoa, there's my furnace. Sorry guys, that's loud. Guess I'll use this size. So these I'm using 2.5 millimeter bolts for those inserts that I just installed. So then these go, which side do these go on? So like when I'm looking like this, that's me looking at my laptop screen that has that's broadcasting the stream, the live stream. So I'm reading comments on there or just looking at the video shot so I can see where I am on the frame. So this goes, is that getting in there right? You gotta be careful with these threaded inserts because they are brass. So if you feel like, yeah, I don't feel like let me double check. I'm pretty sure that these are 2.5 millimeters. Let me double check. Yeah. So there's probably still some plastic. So I'm testing this insert here in my hands just to make sure that I'm doing the right size. sometimes you get some melted plastic in the insert, and it can make it feel like you're stripping out the insert, which you don't want to do. Yeah. I might have to chase it with something. This isn't a good idea. Maybe baffle. Yeah. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. Come on. You know you want to. It's just going to be tight, I guess. I'm not really sure. It is what it is. Yeah, it's alright. Alright, so that's on there. Could do this screw a little tighter. Yeah. It looks like a little bent, but that could just be the insert. I don't know if I drove in this screw right. I guess these inserts are not the best inserts. It's hard to buy decent stuff, especially off Amazon and metric stuff, because I live in America and the standard in America is not metric. So getting metric parts can be difficult. I order a lot of stuff from China, and the quality is hit or miss. Sometimes I get lucky and it's great quality, and other times it's just okay. And I can make the okay stuff work, but then I run into sort of issues like what I'm having right now, where I'm like, did I do something wrong, or is this just not a good part? So I'm going to try this again. It's good. It's good enough. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so that's one. Yeah, I can kind of bend this a little bit if I have to. I think what's happening is the print is maybe not cleaned up enough. So there's one leg. Yeah, the inserts are really easy to strip. I mean, these are like 2.5 millimeters, so you have very little to work with. So the idea is this speaker is in the way. So I'm going to have to, let me try to zoom out a little. I need like the extreme close-up so you can kind of see what I'm doing better. I'm going to disconnect this speaker that I just hooked up, and then careful not to lose the wires down inside like that, and then I'm gonna just do a temporary mount of the light, so it goes here, and then I can rotate it. The nice thing with these brackets is you can angle the light. So to like get the best backlight for your marquee, you want to be able to rotate these and get the right angle. That's partly why I went with it. They have this nice, you can see that, it's real nice. So I can tighten these inserts now, maybe put a washer there too, and then I can get the angle right where I want it, and then tighten it up, tighten up this bolt. I know that's there's a lot of dialogue just for these simple little parts, but I am trying to, part of what I'm doing with all this is to streamline the process of the build. So every little part that I can make better in some way will help the build come together. Because maybe someday I will get these mass produced. So this is all sort of like the building blocks for a final product. And I'm always trying to like improve these things bit by bit where I can. And sometimes it just sort of seems insane to spend all this effort to do like the silliest little things. But like I said, it's satisfying at the end when you have it all come together and it just works great, as it should. Yeah, this one went in easier, which is good. So where's this last screw? I need like, ideally I'd have like a third camera. I do have another camera. I could wire it up, but it's just a lot of cameras. And then have a third camera that is facing down on my workbench, so you can see sort of like when I'm reaching down here on my mat, you can see what I'm doing. Alright, that one's in. This end cap went in better. And then we have another bracket here. So we get a bracket. And it has a spacer. It's got a bracket and a spacer. And another. Yeah, so the spacer has some flash on it. This is sort of like the quality control issues that I run into with parts. You can kind of see the flash. So this is basically like a thick washer, plastic washer, and you can see sort of like that little mountain. I don't know what you call it, but that's in the way. So I'm gonna have to sand this a little bit, which is not great, you know. When you're trying to put something together, the parts should just work right at the bat or right out the gate. And I can kind of clean this up with my fingernail. It's not a great idea. Alright, whatever. Anyway, let's do this guy. Goes through here. And then hopefully this insert is a little easier to deal with. Nice thing with these little bolts that I'm using is they have a knurled head, so you can actually start them with your hands pretty easily. Oh, that one went in alright. Yeah, I kind of want to put a washer on these. Oh man. But there we go. There's the two mount brackets. All that for the mount brackets. And I might have done that wrong. I can rotate it, right. This is the way it goes. Like this. So then this gets fed down to the motherboard. Down in the front there. And then this goes up here. Hold on. I might have to pull out that other speaker. Then this goes up here. Hopefully these holes line up. It looks like they're gonna. And that goes there. And then there's bolts. Some more 2.5. So I came out with, what size? 2.5 by 8 millimeter. I think that's what these are. And these go up from the underside through these slots. Oh, they're a little longer than they need to be. Just kind of, so I might have to put them down from the top. This is tricky. I don't know of a good way to do this other than maybe removing the light bar. So I did just put these brackets on, but it might make sense to do the brackets mounted to the case first and then, yeah, let me try that. That's another thing that I'm working on all the time is how to assemble these things, because people are always like, yeah, you should sell kits, but the kit making a kit is not the hard part. It's making the directions for the kit. You take that stuff for granted when you buy like IKEA furniture or a Lego kit. Someone worked really hard to come up with those directions. That's a whole science within itself. Alright, so I'm gonna unhook this speaker here because it's in my way. Put you off somewhere else. And then put this over here somewhere. Like that, I guess. Yeah, so I'm gonna mount these in here first. And it's not something you're gonna be able to see very well on camera. But I put these through. And unfortunately, I cannot use threaded inserts with these. I don't really like... I need some 2.5 millimeter nuts. Do I have any handy? They're somewhere. Where are they? I'm trying to think in my mind's eye where they would be. Oh yeah, there's a bin over here. Maybe if the tab was on the outside instead of under the light bar? Yeah, no, I hear you, but there isn't room. So that was another, it was kind of a dilemma, but if you look, there's really not enough room to flip these around the other way because of here, these things. So, I mean, I could change the whole design. I could move these bumps. There's like a bump here. I could move that this way. But I was trying to copy the Astro City when I did that part, so I wasn't really like... I could redesign all this and make a little more space up here. But if they go this way, they don't think it'll fit. Yeah, you can see there's not enough room to have these brackets flipped around the other way. I know that would be the smart way to do it. But the light bar, you know, it is the length that it is, and I found it online, and I tried ordering another light bar that was shorter to combat that, and it wasn't quite wide enough. So this is sort of the length that the ideal length for a light bar for this. So I would have to modify the model. These, like I said, this part right here, this bump out. I don't know if my camera's focusing. So I'd have to move that this way on both sides. So in the meantime, I do it the hard way. I gotta find my 2.5 millimeter bolts. I think they're over here on my right. Somewhere. Was that it? Move my drill out of harm's way. Yeah, here's the 2.5. No, I think these are stainless, which aren't great because they're hard to do. Anything not magnetic, it's nice to have it not rust, but also it's a hassle because of you can't hold it with like something magnetic. So this will do. It's a lot of effort just to mount the light bar. Sure, I could use double-faced tape and do it the crap way. I like to try to do everything mechanical when I can. So the idea is these have some slots. So the holes are slotted so you can slide this sort of exactly where you need it to be. That's only one bolt right now, but I'm going to put in a second bolt here. And then tighten it. It's easy enough to reach my finger on here, under here, sort of, and put a nut on the end of this tiny little. Ooh, there it went. There it went. Yeah, if these were, I need like miniature hands. I have small hands, but yeah, this bolt is the harder. This nut is the harder one to do, so I might have to do it from the inside. This is still on. I'm gonna turn off my iron. Yeah, I can't really do that. Oh my god. So this might be a tweezer thing. Let's do tweezers. This is fiddly. Using tweezers to put a bolt in. This is fiddly. So yeah, I don't know. This would be a problem for mass production, but I need to do some threaded inserts here, but I haven't measured the correct measurements. So maybe once I get this installed and exactly where it is, I'll take my calipers and take some better measurements and do the next one with threaded inserts so I don't have to do this fiddliness. Alright. Once the nut is started, it is pretty easy to tighten. Okay, so this should be able to slide now, in and out, like that. So that's one. Let's do the other side. Get this out of the way. So the camera could go higher. I need to I'm not using a tripod, I'm using like a microphone stand. Yo, Rob. Indigo says, what's up? Oh, hey, Indigo. Techzilla. Wait, Indigo. Indigo who? Indigo from Facebook? I know someone on Facebook named Indigo. I don't know if that's the same person. Where's the other bracket? Am I going crazy? It's mounted. No? Where is it? You guys see where I dropped the other bracket? No, it's on there. I am going crazy. I have to drink some water. Eat a snack. Hello, you know. Oh, yeah. What's up, Indigo? Oh, Indigo on Insta. Insta? Who do I know named Indigo? I'm gonna have to look this up now because I'm curious. I have 10,000 followers, so let's see. Let's look up Indigo. Who's Indigo? Indigo White cosplay? That's what comes up first. Oh well. Anyway. Camel toe indigo. Camel toe indigo. Oh, that would be Indigo White cosplay, right? They don't even follow me. I follow them. Interesting. Well, hello. Hello, Indigo and friend, Techzilla. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I drew a picture of Indigo White. I never finished it. I don't remember if Indigo even looked at it. Yeah, but anyway, I should finish that at some point in time. Yeah, you guys, you should go follow Indigo White on Instagram. If you like girls who cosplay and play video games, she's cool. Alright, let's mount this other bracket. Camel toe indigo, that's funny. Do I have some longer bolts? Yeah, what did I end up using? These 8mm? I think they might be a little too long. Or not. Let's see. No, I think that'll work. It might be a little overkill for this. This is the most fiddly thing on this build right now. I definitely have to improve how this thing mounts. This light bar was not the original design I came up with. I had actually a 3D printed light bar that I was going to use, but it was a pain in the butt to make. 3D printing something this kind of delicate and small, and then I had to buy a tube to make the light bar, and then I had to wire up like my own LEDs inside, and there was like a lot of steps to it. It was more work than this. Less fiddly. This part was easier to mount the other one, obviously, but this one works because I can just buy this light bar on Amazon or whatever, and it just does its thing. Alright, so I'm going to put this, let's use the tweezers again. Funny little tweezers. This is such a crap way of doing things. There we go. There we go. Oh. There we go. Let me make sure I'm mounting this the right way. Yeah. Okay, well I got one of them in. This guy. Whoa. Oh crap. Okay. Yeah, that works. Oh man. Damn, my view duration has gone up quite a bit today, which is good to see. I guess if I do this more and more, I'll get more people watching, I guess. I'm not really keen on the live streaming thing. I get kind of anxious on camera, but I think when I'm working, it's easier. Like if I was just sitting here talking to the camera, I'd be like, what am I doing? I feel like a dork. But when I'm working and talking to you guys, it makes it a little easier. Alright, that's more or less where it needs to be. I need to tighten this a bit more so I can kind of get it to stay put while I'm getting it in the right spot. There we go. And that goes like that. So there's some spacers that go on the left and the right. Ideally you wouldn't have spacers, but that's how they designed it. So, oh no. So how am I gonna, this is another issue I might run into. I might have to pull this whole top arch off. So the whole front of the machine has to come off. So the joystick has to come off. I guess that's why I didn't mount them like this before, because you see this angle, like you can't really tell on stream, but I can't really get in there without pulling the whole top off, or the front of the machine, because this top arch is actually attached to the front of the machine. Yeah, I thought the same thing, Felix. But like I said, while I'm working and focused on something else, it's a little easier. And the more I've done it, the more it's kind of alright, I guess. I mean, of course, when I go back and I watch the video of the stream, I kind of cringe listening to myself talk or ramble, but yeah, it's kind of a necessary evil as I've gotten more and more popular on social media. And like I said, it's a great way to show people what I do without making a whole edited video. I'm unscrewing the front joystick. That's currently what I'm doing. Because to access the bolts that hold the front of the machine to the back, I have to remove the joystick. I'm going to probably move some stuff around to get a better angle here, so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I have these thumb screws. The joystick's already coming loose here, but I have some thumb screws inside here that I'm loosening with my fingertips. It's not great. Yeah, almost there. There we go. Yeah, here's one of the thumb screws. So this is what I use to attach the joystick to the front of the machine. The idea is to have it so, otherwise, how would I get a driver, a screwdriver or Allen wrench in here, you know? Not without pulling the whole computer out, which would be a hassle every time you wanted to take this thing apart. So I tried to design it so you could do this without all that. So the joystick's about to come apart here. And I don't, since it's only held, the joystick's only held by 2 bolts, I don't recommend anyone pick up the whole arcade machine by the joystick. Because you could, there's a lot of weight here, so that could potentially break it. Or pull out these inserts that these thread into. So here's the 2 thumb screws for the joystick. And then this just unplugs like that. And there's the thread inserts that these thumb screws screw into. So that's what's holding it to the front of the machine. They're pretty robust. These are M4s. These are 4mm. Pretty robust. But all that just to get to these 2 bolts on the front. So the whole front assembly is actually held to the back with just 4 bolts. So here's one. Let's see that on camera. Here's one. Here's one. Here's 2. And then I've already undone the ones on the top. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else holding it in place. I don't want to break anything. No, that's it. So then the front. Here's the front. This is kind of how I should have been working the whole time, because it's a lot easier to work on the inside. So I try to do everything modular. So this is the whole front of the machine without the screen assembly. And this is how I should have been working the whole time, but I like to kind of get it all together, because then it looks more like what it's supposed to look like. But yeah, so I mean, if I was to recommend the right way to work on this, it would be not how I was doing it. Ooh, these inserts, have they pulled out a little bit? I might have to so thread inserts sometimes, I might super glue these, or you know, maybe they're just, I didn't push them in all the way. Whatever. so I'm going to finish doing what I was doing here. So it's doing the light. It's the light bar. This is way easier now. Holy moly. Right? This is how I should have done it the whole time. So I'm going to flip this around. Yeah, I'm kind of giddy right now. I'm kind of, because it's funny. It's funny when you realize that someone that you follow actually knows who you are, and I'm surprised that Indigo knows who I am, because it's not like I don't think I've ever personally talked to her. I mean, obviously I follow her online, so she may know me because of that, but I think it's funny nonetheless that her and her friend were watching, or if they're still watching, hi guys, which is still funny to me, because it's like, she's pretty famous as far as social media goes, in the interwebs. Certainly more famous than I am. So it's cool to have someone watching that I'm a fan of. I don't know which ones was I was using these guys before. Yeah, these are the ones with the spacer. This is way easier to do without the whole back or the whole front assembly on here. There we go. That's satisfying. Putting these things together, that's part of the threaded insert joy, is just having all this stuff bolt together, and it just is so positive. You know, it's hard. My hands are like taking up everything. Yeah, I need another camera set up, so I'm going to push this closer. There we go. I mean, this isn't terrible. I could get used to putting this all together, and it would be better. Those slots that I put in for these, they worked out really well. So now I can sort of get it just where I want it. Like that. And then I'll tighten these a little bit more. There we go. So there's the light bar, pretty much where it should be, or not pretty much, where it should be, and you can angle it. And then this power plugs into the RGB header on the motherboard. Although the pins on this header are very fine, so they don't grab this DuPont connector as well as I'd like. We can do a power test real quick. I'm going to do a power test. Make sure there's no... It's always a good idea when you're doing a power test to make sure there's nothing that's going to short out something, like this HDMI plug that's hanging on top of the power supply. So I got in the bottom here is the power supply. It's like a Pico PSU on crack. Alright, that's plugged in. Will it boot? Will it turn on? I'm going to double check, make sure I have no wires hanging in anything important. Oh, brightness. There it is. We have light. Oh, I'm glad that people are watching, because this is a monumentous occasion. So then, now that we have light, I'm going to unplug some of these cables that are kind of in the way. And I'm going to put this over here somewhere without shorting anything out. I'm going to put the front back on. See if I can get that. right where I want it. That. Ooh, you can see it's already lighting up the top marquee there. So the camera is not liking this. It's bright as heck. But what if I turn off some lights? Will that make it better? I think I have the camera set to auto adjust. Or not. Maybe if I do this. No. So the ISO is too high. Hold on. ISO or shutter speed. One of the two. Let's see if we can get it. Ah, there it is, guys. There you have it. There, that looks nice, right? There we have it. So we got that. Yeah, that looks good. So the idea is now I can rotate it to get like the optimal angle for the top there. So you can see when I angle it down, it gets kind of dim. And I also, the back cover has a dual purpose other than being a back cover. It also reflects the light because it's white. So it doesn't reflect as well as it could, but so you angle this light kind of where that gets nice and bright. I mean, I have the camera set, the shutter speed kind of set funny. To my eye, it's actually brighter than it looks on camera right now. And then, where's the other marquee? So then this guy goes here. And that completes the look. Yeah, so the angle of this, you have to come down a little bit to brighten up. It's probably like right here. To brighten up the green bar here. And again, like I said, it's brighter to my eye than what you guys are seeing. I'm going to adjust, I guess, the shutter speed. I have no idea. I'm not like a photographer. That's pretty good. So let's get that back there. That looks closer to what I see with my eye. It's like what you would see in reality. Looks pretty good. So now, when I turn off the computer, or the whole system, I hit the power button, and everything shuts off. So it's nice. So audio amp, the light bar, and the computer, everything powers on together. Thanks, Bren. Yeah, this marquee, I spent the marquee, the whole arch marquee portion of the build is probably the hardest part of the whole build, design wise. I spent the most time on all of this, and then I hired retromodding.com to laser cut these acrylic parts, and then they printed with their UV printer on the back side of these laser cut acrylic parts. And this is the closest you're gonna get to like what a real Astro City has in terms of the marquee. It looks pretty good. I think on the real Astro City, this gray portion here, this is actually metallic. And I mean, that's not something you're gonna get with a UV printer that I know of. So, I mean, it works. It's fine. It's not exact. So then these speakers, they go inside here like that, and they mount on the back side of this whole arch portion, so they're not gonna fit from the front. So I'm gonna power this off. I'm probably gonna cut the stream after this because I'm getting kind of tired and it's late. It's almost midnight. I'm gonna mount everything, the front back on here. What's stopping this from going in place? Something is. Maybe just these cables. No, what is it? Oh, there's a plug right there. So I gotta, hold on. I'm I'm gonna unplug the power from the back because this power supply's got a live 12 volt going into it, and I'm not sure if like when the power is switched off that if it does still have power or not. I might tell customers to unplug the whole system when they're not using it because I don't know how that all works. So I'm gonna put these bolts back in. Probably gonna change the shutter speed back to what I had it on. I don't know why it's not auto adjusting exposure and stuff. I don't know if there's, you know, this camera, I bought this camera, it's a Panasonic Lumix. I'll put it back there. So that's good for just a regular shot. It's not great for when it's lit up. The Marquee doesn't show up very well, but yeah, so luckily the front portion is only 4 bolts. I initially had it so the whole arch part was separate from this part, but it was like unnecessary to have those be 2 separate parts. I mean, they are initially, but then I glue them together, so there's actually a glue joint along here gluing the front portion to the arch. These are M3s here. So the majority of the case is held together with M3 as I break stuff. There we go. A lot of these bolts are kind of longer than they need to be, as you can see. But it's better to have too much than not enough when it comes to bolt thread. And then I'm going to put, which ones did I have up here? Where are the bolts that I had up here? Did I drop them inside somewhere? Some stuff in here, ready? Something fell out, right? There. That was the bolt, a nut. I don't know where the... Oh, here they are. Right here. Right where I left them. So then there are... These go through here and into this back part of the case. And this is what holds the top of the whole front assembly in place. And a thing to consider when I designed this was that you could get a driver in here. So you see where this is, it has to be back, pretty far back, for you to be able to put a driver here. Because when I initially designed this part, I realized after the fact that I could not tighten these bolts because they were inside of the arch too far, so then I couldn't get the driver in there. These are all these like weird considerations that you realize sort of after the fact. Like when you're designing in CAD, you have to kind of imagine like, how am I going to be able to get a screwdriver or a tool in there to tighten the part or put the part together. And sometimes you miss that as you're designing. Alright, so those are good. And now we can do the speakers. So these guys. And then after this, I mean, this build is pretty much done, construction wise. Not paint, it still needs paint. I'm gonna have this come back out here and do this again. Not paint wise. That's a whole nother thing. I probably won't live stream that because that's not exciting to watch. Someone sanding and painting. That's pretty boring. I might do a video of me painting. That's good. That could be interesting. This part is not interesting. I could have probably tightened these a little more. The one thing that I like about this driver is it's a ball driver, so you can get, you see how I'm at an angle here, you can actually get, you can almost tighten it from this angle. No, it won't work. But I didn't really tighten those enough, but whatever. It's good enough for now. But I'm gonna mount these speakers in. So I'd done the inserts for one of the speakers, for the left speaker here, or right, depending on where you're looking at it from. So that one's ready to go. That goes there. Buenos noches. Does that mean good night? Goodbye? Goodbye, right? Buenos noches. I took Spanish in high school, and I don't remember any of it. I was kind of a slacker that year when I took Spanish, so this is not really centered. The top marquee needs to move over a little bit. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to mount one speaker in. I need some more 2.5 millimeters bolts. I should label my I should label these. Oh, good night. All right, yeah. Buenos noches. I should have known that. I knew it. Oh, these aren't quite long enough. What did I end up using? What did I use on this one? So I have more of these 2.5 millimeters that I have not sorted and put into this bin yet. You can see it's pretty empty. So I need to put some more bolts in there. I'm ordering parts all the time. Yeah, these are 2.5. So here, I just haven't put those in yet. There's some more 2.5s. They come in these kind of crappy little bins, and they're fine, but when you order a bunch of different sizes, you end up having a ton of these bins. So then I started buying those tackle boxes that I was just showing you. These guys, because you can put a lot more. And then I sort of sort them out of these bins they come in into these. It's like a whole other thing to get into. Sorting and organizing. That's where, like, someday I'll be able to hire someone to do this for me. That would be a lot easier. So I need the right length for these. That's too long. That's too long. What size? This size? 16 mil? That's too long. I think I'll go with 12. 12 millimeter, if I remember correct. Yeah, right. A little short. So I think I need to do the 16s. I think 16 is, yeah, 16's it. So this goes up here. Let's get that on camera better. So that goes up there. And where are you? Threaded insert. Oh, there it is. So there it is. I don't want to go through all the way through. There's one. So there's two bolts here and here, and then there's a third bolt that goes to this. So this hole here is what holds this side of the marquee, and it also holds the bottom part of the speaker in. Now I think I need I think I do a, this is a 8. Is this an 8 or a 10? Oh, you know, I might have run out of the right size for this. This set didn't come with very many. These 2.5 millimeter bolts are a lot harder to come by. Good night, Bren. Okay, that works. 8 works, right? Maybe 12 would be better. The 12s are too long. 10 would be better. I think 10 is what I was using. So that's in there, more or less. There's one more bolt that holds it kind of steady. But you can see how the light bar, very close. Look at that. This just grazes. Well, it doesn't hit it, but it comes very close to hitting the bottom of the speaker here. Tight space. Not a lot of space up here. So even these speakers are like, I can get smaller speakers, but the sound quality like starts plummeting when you work with a smaller speaker. So these were like a good compromise, and they look close. You know, not exactly like what's in a real Astro, obviously, but they're close to it, close enough where I feel good about it. So I'm gonna pull out that size. What was the size I used? 16. So I need to 8 and 16 are the 2 bolts for up here. So I should make a note of that somewhere, so that when I do this again, I'm not like kind of going over what I just said. I do have like on the working file on my CAD program, I do have the sizes that I need, but I need to make a BOM, a bill of materials for all the parts, and then making a guide for a kit would be both good for me and for my customers, because I forget how I build these things. There's a lot of parts. There's a lot to remember, and I just kind of feel it out as I build. So I like just sort of like, oh, that'll fit there, that'll fit there. But like, it would be better if I had a guide for myself to follow, directions to follow, or maybe even a video is kind of too much. But like a manual, you know, like with exploded diagrams for all the parts and assemblies and how they come together, because there is like an ideal sort of assembly method for the whole thing, where like with this light bar, like this should be installed before the front of the machine's on, and like, you know, there's a few things that there's an order to the assembly. What the heck was I doing? Yeah, I need the other one of these speaker baffles. I don't know where it was. I thought I had it over here. Yeah, it's right here. So I'm going to turn on my threaded insert tool. Just a modified soldering iron. And I'm using for the speaker mounts for M2. So once I mount this speaker up and put the Marquee in, I might call it there. I could do a test if anyone's still watching, like a boot up, just so you can see it all come on together with a game running or something. But I'm honestly really tired and I need to like eat a snack. I might actually get, while this is heating up, I'm going to get a snack and some water because I'm famished. There's the water. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm going to get a snack upstairs. I'll be down in a second. Alright guys, I'm back. If anyone's still here. Had to get a snack and some water. So I'd like to segue into talking about our sponsor. No, this is really not our sponsor. But these are really good. They're organic chickpea puffs. Vegan nacho vibes. No cheese, gluten-free. And they taste just like Cheetos or cheese puffs. You kind of, whatever you buy at the convenience store. A little more expensive, but they're good. Plant protein. So I guess this is turning into ASMR now. Hi guys. You hear that? I'm just kidding. What time is it here? It's 11:30. Almost midnight. I work for myself, so I don't have to wake up in the morning. But I still get tired. Yeah, I wouldn't call them healthy. But they're a snack, and they're not totally unhealthy. They're still salty. Probably more sodium. And there's a bit of sugar. Not a ton. But alright. It's kind of cold down here. It's technically spring here where I live, or I guess everywhere, but it's not very warm. It's been a cold spring. My workshop is not heated. It's cold down here. This is probably the temp. Yeah. But I'm not going to do that while I'm eating because it's kind of a dangerous thing, I guess. But if you guys have any other questions while I'm eating, feel free to ask. Felix, where are you? Did you tell me where you were before? I think you did. Your name sounds French, but I don't know. I don't know if you guys hear that, but there's a dog upstairs, and he's old, so he's kind of having a struggle. Yeah, I've sold kits before, but they're kits that are sold as is. So I explained to people, I don't have directions on how to build these. Sorry. I do want to make more kits. Mexico. Oh, so 8:41. Yeah, I was gonna say, depending on where you are in Mexico, So you're in the same time zone as Cali, right? California. I have some friends who live in that time zone. Yeah, honestly, like, I feel like if I stayed on a little longer, I'd have a bunch of viewers because my Cali followers, I have a lot of Cali followers, so, or West Coast followers, that time zone. So, I think if I stayed on longer, I'd have a bunch of viewers, maybe. Ah, alright. I've been to San Diego one time. It's very dry. It's very deserty out there. Like where I live, it's green. It's very green. Not right now. Well, it's starting to turn green. I don't know what it's like down in Mexico where you are, but at least in San Diego, it was like pretty dry, desert-like. I don't know if that's wicked loud while I'm chewing on these. I apologize if it is. My eye is starting to twitch. That's how I know I'm tired. These are good. I try to only eat one a day, but sometimes I eat two of them. It's not really great. Well, that's it. I'm gonna wash my hands so I'm not getting like Cheeto dust all over everything. I'll be right back. Hi, doggy. Alright. Now I feel a little more recharged. Now I gotta put these inserts in. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're better than regular cheese puffs for sure. More satisfying. They're pretty filling as far as cheese puffs goes. Like, you know, you feel like you're actually eating something instead of just junk food. I mean, it's not a meal. So I live with my aunt, and she does dog boarding. So we have basically like other people's dogs live with us. You know, anywhere from a couple days to a couple weeks. So I don't even remember the dog's name upstairs. He's a nice dog. He's old, but they're not really allowed down here in the basement. I don't even think he could make it up and down the stairs. I mean, sometimes I post pictures of them on my Instagram stories. Not usually. But I would, if he was my dog, I would definitely introduce you guys. But, you know, otherwise it's like a whole other thing to get into. Other people's dogs and introducing them to my followers on social media. It's kind of weird. Alright, I'm going to put these inserts in. He's a lab and a not a basset hound, some kind of hound. So he's a lab with like big floppy ears, a black lab, but he's a big dog. He's very big, and his legs are not the best. I feel kind of bad. He can barely move around. It's tough when you get an older dog who can't really walk on its own legs anymore. Yeah, these are going in nice. It takes a while to get the hole size right for these threaded inserts, but once you get it right, pretty satisfying. You know what I forgot to put? There's another insert that goes in the bottom here, and that's what interfaces with the hole on the side of this guy. So that other insert, there's a bolt that goes through this into the backside, or an insert in here, and that is a 3mm. I think it's a 3, or is it an M2? 2.5. It's a 2.5. Yeah, 2.5. Oh, I already have that out. So, let's grab one of these 2.5s. And push this into this part. Hopefully this goes in there nicely. Yep, not bad, not bad. And boom, 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 boom. Okay, pretty good. Nice. Now, I forgot to put one in this other speaker, so I have to. I actually might be able to do it from the front. So. I'm going to turn the machine around. Turn the machine around and put an insert in this front. You can see when the speaker is sort of, the speaker baffle is where it, whoop, sorry, you can't see that well. Hold on, let me zoom in. Oh crap. I need a better setup for my camera, because I can kind of do that. Oh, look, it's focusing. Would you believe that? Would you look at that? Would you look at that? So there, that gets a threaded insert, and then the window bolts in. So that's what holds the whole window in place. Just two bolts. And because this has a bend, this is actually the wrong window. This is an earlier version, so it's a little long. But once it's bent in place, it stays pretty well. Yeah, so I'm gonna put an insert in the front here. Can I do this on camera? Not burning myself? 2.5mm. I'm gonna burn myself. This is not the way to do this, really, but I'm doing it. Okay. Oh boy, I don't like it. Whoop. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah. I can't really see what I'm doing. Okay. Oh, that's a little further than it needs to be. But it's in there. So let's put the other one in now. This is pretty thin. The arch. It's thin, but it's strong. I can lift the whole machine up from that with one finger. So it doesn't look strong because of how thin it is, but these ribs, they go front to back and they stiffen it up. They add a lot of structure. I mean, you can see it bends a little bit, but part of that is this marquee window is not bolted. When everything is like bolted up, it's like actually really strong. It's really stiff. So I'm gonna install this other speaker. Move this back. Move it back down here. I'm glad that this is focusing. It doesn't focus right away, but it's better than my other camera that I was streaming with. Not yesterday, yeah. So this camera, I think it was yesterday. Was I using this camera yesterday? The day before yesterday, I was using my other camera. So this gets 2mm. Where are my 2mm? 2mm. Whoa. Ooh. I got stuff under here that's traveling. That's a keyboard. Am I burning my ear? Okay. Yeah, they are. So M2 8mm. I probably already pulled some of these out, and they're gonna get lost in the mix. Yeah, so the way to mount these, that's right. I'm not a huge fan of that. What happens is, it doesn't matter. I have sort of an OCD about labels and things being right side up, so I try to mount the speakers in a way where when you look at the back, you can actually see the logo as being right side up. And they kind of oddly put the logo at like a 45. Finger cramp. That's a good name. Thanks, man. It's kind of crazy that I've been doing this for years. I guess I started posting my builds and stuff on Instagram in 2015. 2014, right? Was it earlier than that? And before that, I was just posting my artwork. That's why my page is Robert Dunn Art on Instagram, because I started out as an artist. And people like my art, okay, but I felt like I wasn't getting really the reaction that I wanted, and I don't know, I'm not that motivated to do artwork. I never have been. I mean, I'm good at it, but I'm not motivated to do it. Where building these things, I kind of found like a groove, and I actually people love it. Video games are obviously popular, so that helps. Where the art I was making was just not as popular. I could probably go back to it someday, but then I would probably want to make a whole different Instagram, because I have a whole lot of followers on here who just would not be interested in my artwork. I thought about combining my artwork with my arcade machines, I made a joystick one time where I did all my own artwork for it, for the control panel and everything, and it got like a very lukewarm response online. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that again. I do want to make like someday make my own. I kind of did it once where I made my own design arcade machine where it wasn't like copying some other company's designs, but people just like it when you copy other people's designs. That's what's popular. Astro City or a Neo Geo, or and it's not like a direct copy. Obviously, it's like still my own thing, but it's still popular because it's copying an Astro City. So it's kind of how it goes, I guess, with these things. I'm kind of rambling. All right. So let's install this guy. I'm kind of zoomed out here, but there we go. Yeah, I can paint. I'm a pretty good painter, actually. I kind of stopped doing it in high school. I did a little in college. Yeah, the MGS, I guess the MGSP, that's sort of like my most original design. I try to add there's a bit of artistic license in all of these builds. They're not one-for-one replicas, obviously. And people are always like, why don't you make a replica? And I'm like, well, I could, I guess, but there's other, that's kind of when Sega would step in and be like, yo, you're copying our design. We're going to sue you. or whatever. We're a cease and desist. Alright, that's pretty much where it needs to be. This one feels a little looser. I don't know why. But once I put the window in, so let's get this right. Sorry, you guys can't really see. I'm gonna make more of the handhelds finger cramp. Those would definitely give you finger cramps. They're not that uncomfortable, but they're handhelds. You know how it goes with handhelds. You play for a while, your hands get kind of cramped. That fits alright. Let's see if I can get a... The problem is I zoom in and then the camera has to get pushed up. And I'm not keen on... Let's do this. I have like this magic arm, it's called, for my camera. The light and the camera are on it, and I'm not super faithful in how strong it is. So you can kind of see better what's going on. Camera's kind of dark again. Hold on. Let's get that shutter speed, I guess. There you go. Let's try to give you an accurate, there we go. So you can see these guys. There's very little room between the back panel, the back cover, and these plugs. That's why I was saying before I might solder them. Oh, it's all good, man. I apologize. I don't respond to everyone, so I feel bad not being able to respond to everyone. But if I get kind of burnt out on certain questions that I get asked a lot. And some people, I don't know if they mean to be rude, but sometimes people are kind of rude, and I just don't want to respond. But yeah, I have made. Did you ask me to 3D print a full size PS1? I think that was that you. Because I have made a mini PS1, but it's kind of pointless now because Sony made a mini PS1. I mean, they don't sell it anymore, but their mini PS1 is obviously way nicer than I could ever do. They did a really good job on it. People hate on it, but I have one. I think it's actually pretty awesome. But the gaming press said it was not good. But the gaming press likes kind of crapping all over things. That's what they do. That's why I've been reluctant to sort of release to market to like a broader audience online, because I feel like I would get a lot of crap from the gaming press. And it shouldn't really matter, but it does, because if the gaming press says something bad about my work, that is not good for business. Alright, so I'm gonna try to get a better angle for you guys. There we go. Camera's gonna fall a little bit because of this magic arm. There we go. How do I? This way. So I'm gonna put. I have like a bunch of bolts here. These holes are oversized right here. They're too big, but I had to make them oversized. This is a sample part, so I had to make them oversized to work. So, there we go. So as I pull this in, the whole speaker assembly kind of pulls up and into this opening. This is not sitting where it needs to sit totally well because of, like I said, this acrylic is oversized. But, you know, like this is also hitting a little bit. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I have a better version of this Marquee that fits better, but it's for the final assembly. I don't want to like scratch it up. To fit an X Station PS1 digital. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. Um, uh, this one's already been sold. Both this one and the one back here. Um, these have both been sold already. I'm going to be making more. These are the first two of the scale that are going to be finished. So I made another one, a prototype of these two that I sold as a kit, unfinished. And then these are the second and third, I guess, builds of this scale. I've built bigger Astro City bar tops, and I built a mini one that was like, I don't know if you can see because of the camera. The mini was about this height, well, maybe a little bigger, like this height. It was half the size of this, I guess. So the mini had 4-inch screen. This has an 8-inch screen, and then my bigger machines that I built out of wood years ago, those have 14-inch screens. Oh, the price. I don't really like to talk about price because it's a lot. Over $1,000. So if that's out of your budget range, these are not for you. I wouldn't be able to afford my own stuff. I think that's why I got good at. The reason I built my first arcade machine was because I couldn't afford a real arcade machine, so I built my own. And then I just kind of went from there, because people were like, I made one, and people were like, yo, could you make me one? And I was like, I guess, yeah, sure. and that's how it started. The prices on these aren't set in stone because it really depends on like what's inside. But like this one here and the other one sold for around 2,400. I don't remember exactly what they sold for, but they're expensive. And part of it is the cost of the computer. There's about $600 in just parts for the computer. So just the computer build alone is around 600, a little over, if you account for like the power supply. There's a few components that come together to have the computer run in here. So the Raspberry Pi version would be like $700 cheaper if I was to use the Raspberry Pi. But those are actually hard to get right now, so I don't even know if I could build one with a Raspberry Pi. I'm going to plug this in and do another test. I might actually mount this back cover here too. So I'm going to put the back cover on. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I try to, I don't even know, sometimes I feel like it's hard for me to gauge what's a fair price because I put so much work into these. I mean, these take a long time to build. I could maybe, if I was working my ass off 40 hours a week, build one in 1 week, but it's not likely to happen because of how long the prints take. There's like at least 4 or 5 days in just 3D printing, and that's like that's crazy. And then there's the sanding and painting. That it really, like I usually tell people, it takes about a week to sand and paint. Sometimes longer. It depends on my energy levels and the weather because I can only really paint when it's like warm. If it's like raining or something, I can't paint. Oh. This site is a godsend. It tracks Raspberry Pis. Did you post a link? I'm not sure if you can even post links here. I don't know about that, but I haven't even really tried to buy a Raspberry Pi right now. I mean, I sort of did. I looked briefly online, and I was like, yeah, I'm not paying $150 for a Raspberry Pi. I have some Raspberry Pi 3s. I actually have a few of them. So this top part, this takes 2.5. There are several. Let's move this again. This camera is getting kind of warm. Yeah, when you're like, these cameras are not designed to be run constantly, so they get pretty warm. Oh, yeah, it won't let you show links on here. So I'm not seeing them. So I don't know if they're posting at all. You could probably, I don't even know if you can comment with a link after the fact. RPI locator. Yeah, if you want, send it to me in a message on Facebook if you follow my Facebook or on Instagram. But I'll look it up. Thanks for that. Yeah, like I said, I haven't even bothered trying to buy them because I saw some of the prices on Amazon and eBay, and I was like, yeah. I know you can like sign up for stock on like the official websites that the Pi Foundation recommends, but I'm not really like I said, I have a couple. I have like 4 or 5 Raspberry Pi 3s like unopened that I bought a few years ago. I don't have any Raspberry Pi 4s, but customers have been ordering these with PCs, so I'm not really that worried about it because I can get computer parts. Not very well, but I can. I'm just mounting this back cover here. Yeah, the bots. Yeah, that's like me trying to buy a PS5. I got very close to buying a PS5 when I I don't ever have that much money kicking around to buy something like that, but I did at one point, and the bots beat me. I even got like the notification that like it was in my cart on the Best Buy website, and I was about to check out, and then the page seemed like it was crashing, and I think I refreshed, and then it was no longer in stock. Bots. Yeah, I feel like retailers really like don't give a crap. They don't want to help us. They don't care. They're still selling the thing, even if it's to a bot. They don't care. So it sucks for anybody who's not a bot. Alright, so that's mounted. Now I have to... This is the power for the screen. This is the cable for the joystick. It's like too many cables. Honestly, like if I add up the costs of all the stupid cables I buy for just one build, it's kind of crazy. it's like $50 or $100 in cables. Nah, Felix, Raspberry Pi does not run Dreamcast very well. Pi 4 runs it alright. Not great. Finger cramp, I do use Discord, but not very often. I don't know if I can type... Hold on, let me type my Discord in for you. I don't even know it off the top of my head, to be honest. Hold on, let me load up Discord. I'm gonna type it in the chat here. I did like sort of brand my Discord name as multi-game system because I was gonna do more with it. Am I typing? No, I'm not. Hold on, let me type. There we go. Rob dash multi game system. Oh, game system, and then number 4573. So here is my Discord. I don't know how to get YouTube to like keep the chat once my video is uploaded. Is that what toggle timestamps means? No, not necessarily. Do you guys know how to get that to work? I have no idea. I'm kind of a noob when it comes to live streaming, but I've seen a lot of live streamed videos that show the chat. Maybe that's a different type of live stream. Okay, here it is. Wow, that's weird. I don't know why I highlighted it orange like that. Yeah, so it's Rob-multigame system number 4573. That's my Discord. I don't really use Discord that much, to be honest. This is losing focus. Hi. Focus. Yeah, I don't know how the autofocus works on this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Hopefully it decides to eventually. Yeah. Rotate this. Ah, there it is. It's like a minute later. Alright, so I'm going to mount the joystick back on. Move my water before I spill it on something important. Felix, you could definitely like look that up on YouTube, how well Dreamcast runs on the Raspberry Pi 4. ETA Prime does videos like that. Alright, so plug that in. It's easier to plug the cable in first, and then like this. So I'm gonna reattach the joystick here. Yeah, I had the camera off to the left of my workbench, more so, but I feel like it's better to have it sort of at 45 degrees, so it's like off the left corner of the... Okay, cool, thanks, Finger Cramp. Yeah, I'll add you in a second. I don't really use Discord very much, to be honest, but it's a good place if you want to send pictures or links. I actually prefer Instagram for really any communications, or email, but I don't like putting my email online because I get a lot of spam. I already get a lot of spam. I should get like a email just for my company, but then that's like a whole nother email I have to check, so I don't know. Discord works, I guess. Facebook Messenger, Instagram. Is there like a chat? Is there a way to do messages on YouTube? I don't even think there is. I'm doing these thumb screws. There's one. Let's do this one. This one's harder to do because of these wires. How long have I been streaming for? 2 hours, almost 3 hours. Yeah, once I tighten this one up, we will do a boot up. And this is like the first time this machine has been assembled with every component. I mean, there's the speaker grills I'll have to do. I gotta make those. They're kind of a pain in the butt to make. I'll make those, and then and then that's it, really. I think that's pretty much it. It's just a matter of sanding and paint after that, and then applying decals. Yeah, these thumb screws they're longer than they need to be, but it works. It's not great, it works. Okay, there we go. I'm not gonna over tighten it. So now there's some cable management I should probably do, you know, but I'm not gonna. Let me just do a quick boot up without the screen mounted. Just make sure that everything is working as it should. And so can I zoom out? I'm already zoomed out. Oh no, there we go. I can zoom out. So let's get a better camera angle. Okay. Oh my god. Whoa, my camera arm. Oh boy, what am I doing? I need a better camera setup, guys. This is like one of the hardest things with doing a live stream, is actually getting the camera mounted in a place that makes sense. I think this is just gonna tip over. Hold on. This magic arm is like a budget magic arm, and it's holding too much weight. It doesn't really like holding this much weight. So let me get this adjusted. So I'm gonna change the shutter speed again. 1 second, guys. Let's get it like kind of dim. Like, it looks dark, right? But that's what's gonna look good for the screen and for the marquees. So let's do a test. There we go. That's good. Oh, you know what? I didn't adjust the light correct. Let's see if I can get it when it's... That's why I need to, yeah, let's do that. Boom, 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 boom. There it is. There it is. Oh. This is not a great thing to do when it's all closed up. This top one should be brighter, but that's because I don't have it angled right. There it is. It's a little better. I still need to. I need to revise that a bit. The light wants to be further back, but I really don't have space to put it further back. And so I'm like looking up in there. It's pretty tight up in there. Okay, so let's put the screen in. That looks pretty good though. Pretty happy with that. I also don't have like. Yeah, that's working. So I think I can mount the screen when it's powered on. Sometimes the HDMI signal doesn't want to work for a second. So I'm going to see if I can show you guys this. So what I do is I have this HDMI come down here into this. I don't have a ton of slack. Like that. It's not great. I can't really show you guys while I do this because it needs to be this way while I work on it. So I'm going to push that back there, and then I'll do this guy. It's the power cable for the screen assembly or the screen board, like here. So you'll see it come on for a second. And turn blue there, and then I'm gonna mount this, I guess, like that. And then I have this guy. This is like a strain relief clamp, a wire clamp. So this goes over those two wires, and then I tighten it. You can't see this because of the way I have it angled, because the wires are not long enough for me to angle it all the way out. Trying to screw these in. Here we go. Okay, these are kind of long. These are longer than they need to be. There we go. Are we getting a signal yet? No. Yeah, so the computer doesn't like it when you plug in a screen, or this screen doesn't like it when you plug it in after the computer has booted. So it has to come on with the computer, but that's fine. I can turn the computer on and off. No big deal. I'm going to try to cable manage a little bit better here. Okay, so then this guy goes here, like that. And the magnets, it's alive, yes. No screen, no signal, because it needs to come on with the computer, I believe. It's like you can't hot swap displays, and I don't know if it's a motherboard issue or the screen, the driver board. Yeah, it does turn blue, but it doesn't like, it's like the screen shuts itself off, and it won't turn back on until it powers on with whatever it's hooked up to, I guess. It's just the nature of it. I've noticed sometimes even when the computer turns on, the screen doesn't seem to like accept the input. So it takes a while to come on here. And the screen looks dim. I mean, it's not the brightest screen in the world. Part of it is there's a plastic film on here. That's creating glare, obviously. Let me turn this light off. See if that helps. Not really. The screen does look better in person, I promise. We gotta plug in, we're in Windows. It boots quick. When you're running off an SSD, it's pretty crazy how quickly it boots. So I was messing around with this on stream yesterday, but let's see if we can get some audio. It's 1024 by 768. So I'm gonna adjust this camera again, because like I might actually move the camera. Hold on. Let's see. If you see it fall, that's me dropping my camera on a cement floor. Which is not great. Oh, actually got that in frame pretty well just by moving it. Let me see if I can zoom in a second. Trust me, the screen is brighter in person. It is not the brightest screen. And it is what it is. It's really hard to order these screens because I have to order them from China. And it's like, yeah, it wants to be like, it wants to be here. This is sort of what I see. This is what my eye sees. Obviously the marquees get a little blown out, but that is going to be the closest to what my eye sees that I can get on. The viewing angle on these screens is like, no, it's not the greatest. Everything's working though, which is good. And the frame rate is better today with this camera. Let me double check. No, I've already adjusted it. Thanks, man. Oh boy. Oh boy. Get wrecked. Alright, finger cramp. Yeah, after this I'm gonna call it. I just wanted to get it up and running. Yeah, so to get back to the front end you hit start select. Twice. And then, this is a tracked mode. And this runs both on my Raspberry Pi builds and on my PC builds. I don't know if it wouldn't work with Android. See, you can get right into RetroArch from here. Yeah, I'm not very good at JoJo's. I don't really know how to play it because of the stance mechanism. I was playing a little bit with my friend. I'm honestly better with a controller than I am with a joystick because I grew up playing fighting games on PlayStation, so I'm a lot better on there, or with like a Super Nintendo controller. But here's RetroArch if you want to like change the inputs or a video. I don't know what I have the output set to. Yeah, 1024 by 768, which is the native resolution of this LCD. 60 hertz. I'm only using GL1 as the graphics driver. I don't know, you could get maybe better performance with other drivers. I mean, the performance is fine. This computer is more than powerful enough. Actually, that's a good idea. I will... Hold on. I'll show you guys what the computer is. I can never remember exactly. Where do I get to that on Windows properties? So it's an AMD Ryzen 7 5700G with Radeon graphics clocked at 3.8 gigahertz, 32 gigs of RAM, kind of overkill, and then it has a 2 terabyte SSD, Windows 10 Pro. And yeah, it's kind of overkill, but why not? The customers are paying for it. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I'm like alright at fighting games. I'm not great at them. I don't really... I have a friend who's pretty good at Smash. He's good at all fighting games. And he plays at a local place that does like tournaments and stuff. He's really good. I've beaten him a few times, but like he gets good faster than I do. He's younger than me, so he's pretty good. Yeah, it's wicked overkill. But I have Tekken 7 on here, so I guess we could do... I don't think it's going to work because of the bindings. We'll see. I usually use like a third-party program to bind the controls to a 360 controller and emulate a 360 controller. But I don't think that... Oh, and this game does not like running in 4.3, I guess. I don't know. Does this game support 4.3? I mean, it runs. Yeah, it's not gonna... Oh, what? Something worked. Maybe it is working. No. One button's working. What button was working? L and R? L works. It thinks this is L button. That is really strange. Maybe because it's bound to a keyboard? No, it's not bound to a keyboard key. So I have no idea why it's doing that. I do have a keyboard handy, so... You guys can at least see how Tekken runs on here. Runs pretty good. Tekken 7. Is there like a... Graphics settings. Oh yeah, so it's set at a weird res. Alright, now it's at 1024 by 768. Huh? Oh wait, I didn't... Did I do it? No. Okay. Okay, so... Everything's on high. I'm not really sure I want to bind this with this button mapping. Oh, it looks like it's finding it. Huh. How do I rebind this? Does it not let me rebind? I have no idea. A UFB? I don't know what a UFB is. Not in the joystick. You mean, is that UFB from Brook? Is that a Brook board you're talking about? The Brook boards are not going to fit in this. Not easily. I mean, you could maybe cram one in there. Like, yeah, you could definitely stuff one in there, but it wouldn't really, like, fit well. I don't know how to change these button inputs. So, I'm just going to load up a match. Honestly, nothing's stopping anyone from plugging in, like, a full-size joystick through the USB if they really want to. It's not really about, like, these aren't really about, like, having, like, the best setup for playing a game, because obviously they're small, they're kind of mini. They're more about like the aesthetic. Let's do offline arcade battle. Left. This goes pretty loud. I'm like, this is quarter volume. I think this runs pretty well though. Yeah, there's a lot of glare, but part of that is there's a protective piece of plastic on here. Yeah, there's going to be some desync between the audio and the video. I guess it doesn't really run. I'm not good at it. I don't even know what the buttons are. Whoa. What are my buttons? What are buttons on a keyboard for a fighting game? Hi, what buttons are... Ah, there they are. I'm not good at Tekken. On a controller, I'm okay. Yeah, it runs, I mean, it runs 3D fighting games fine, just fine. This is on high, so it looks like it's running at 60. I don't have a frame counter up, but it's definitely 60. Your arcade 1-up isn't going to run Tekken 7, that's for sure. Oh. Oh. I play, I'm not usually... Apparently the difficulty is pretty low because I'm like cheesing this guy. Eddie Gordo. Oh, I'm getting wrecked now. Yeah, it's running at full speed. I haven't seen any frame drops. I mean, I'm only running at 1020. Just mash. Yeah, just mash. Yeah, I'm mashing. I always am, like, I'm a Street Fighter guy, so I'm always hitting back to block, and I don't think that works in Tekken. Isn't there a button for block? I don't remember. See if I can, Yeah, oh, buttons. There it is. Yeah, it looks really good, actually. I mean, it sucks that it's kind of letterboxed, but that's just how it goes. It's a 16:9 game. People aren't buying this to play modern fighting games, but it can. It does have DisplayPort out, so if you want to hook it up to a monitor... What did I just do? Oh. It got canceled. Yeah, so the frame rate... The camera's doing... It's only running at 30, so my camera's 30, but the game is actually running at 60. I can't stream at 60, so I'm not... there we go. So, the customer wanted me to install Fightcade on here. I haven't set it all up, but Fightcade is on here. RetroArch, Tekken 7. I'm probably going to put some other games. I don't know. Most of that stuff's going to be up to the customer because I'm selling this as hardware, not as software. So, that's kind of up to the customer to put their games on it if they want. But I think I'm going to call it there, guys. Whoop, my hand's in the way. So this thing is just about done. I mean, obviously I have to sand and paint, but everything came together pretty good, as expected. Compared to, I did some improvements on this one versus the last build. Not visual improvements, but like mechanical improvements, and some things come together better. Full-size stand, one joystick. These are 24mm Sumitsu buttons. These are some eBay or Amazon or AliExpress specials. I don't remember what size they are, but they're only for auxiliary, so start and select coin. These will get some speaker grills, and then there'll be graphics, obviously. This gets a nice control panel. This is a sample, but it's going to basically be this underneath there. Yeah, then. I'll talk to you on Discord. Thanks for tuning in. And Felix, thanks for watching. Um, I'm gonna call it there. I mean, this stream will be up on my YouTube after the fact if you guys want to like watch any of it again. Um, but thanks for tuning in, and anyone else who's watching, uh, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, have a good night, guys. Bye.